Welcome back to the channel, and in our last video about The Last of Us, we discussed to see if it's overhyped and, you know, if it's worthy of the 9.2, I think it was. So it's gone down a little on IMDb. Yeah, it's on 9.2 now, so it's gone down a little.
Well, let's see how these episodes stack up against the rest then.
So we're going to be discussing episodes 4, 5 and 6, and basically just seeing, is the hype still there? Is it still worthy? You know, is it as good as episode 3, which I really slated in the last video, which you...
Yeah, I stood up for it. I mean, come on, man. You got to have different opinions.
Yeah, different.
I thought it was really good, you thought it was really bad, but...
True.
But we'll go into episode 4. So...
Yeah, episode 4. So we see Joe and Ellie in the car, which they took from Bill, because he was dead. I mean, he was dead.
Yeah,
he was dead.
He dropped off stuff.
Yeah. He dead. He's
a
dead.
boy.
Yeah. So they're in the car going to they're in the car going west, and they come across an intersection where they can't seem to get past because it's like blocked by this like massive lorry. So they have to go through Kansas City. Now this is where shit starts, you know,
going down. Yeah,
shit starts going down.
It's not blocked by Frida, is it?
No, it's blocked by the people that are kind of like fighting back, but they're not really fireflies. They're just kind of like normal civilians that have kind of like broken through and then just kind of like reclaimed their city.
Because it's still within the city. It's another broken down city kind of venture where you can't really trust who's going to be like looking to loot you or like help you.
Yeah, they have to cut through the city in order to get back onto the road where they can keep going west.
Yeah. And then they ended up getting attacked by a random guy who pretends to like need help.
Yeah. And then Joel like instantly knew it was a trap, drives through, absolutely knocks him out the way, and then he gets into like a fight with 3 other people. Now this is where you start seeing Joel, you know, actually use his survival skills, which I quite liked.
Yeah, that was really good, man.
And then he manages to kill, I think, about 2 of them, and then one guy comes up from behind and then like grabs him, and he's proper struggling, and then Ellie comes out of nowhere with a gun which she stole from Bill, who's dead, and and shoots him in the back. I mean, this was probably like the biggest moment in like the episode, but I just want your thoughts of...
Well, I agree with you. I think it's a big moment for Ellie because she needs to kind of step up and learn the survival skills that Joel's going to do, and also when to think on her own feet.
Yeah.
Because Joel tells her to hide. There's like a hole in the wall that leads into another room where the guys can't see her. She crawls into that like when Joel tells her to. But then when Joel's struggling with this guy, she's in the other side of the room, can see what's going on, and has to come back and then like shoot this guy and save Joel. So I think it was a big moment for her, his character development. And plus, like, she's willing to give Joel the same level of help and trust that he's been giving her, looking after her. So it's really about them two coming together as a team, which I thought was a good move.
Yeah. The only thing is, do you not felt like it felt a bit underwhelming? Do you feel like it was necessary?
I think it was necessary.
It was necessary, okay.
Because you need to establish that Ellie's learning off her own back and that she's getting better. That she's getting a lot better as a character and as a survivalist. Yeah,
true. Yeah, and then we see the guy and he's pleading for
I
life.
felt bad for him, man. That was really good.
Yeah, but the thing is, anyone in that position will plead for their life.
But imagine you've tried to kill someone. They've he broke his leg or something?
No, so Ellie shoots him in the back, but in the spine because he says, I can't feel my legs.
Yeah, and he's still alive, but he knows he's going to be executed, and he's just pleading for his life, and it was kind of heartbroken, man, because this guy knows he's going to die.
And then you see Joel just execute him.
Yeah.
Which is...
They cut off screen, I thought was good for that.
Yeah. Which I think...
And you hear the gunshot, and then...
Yeah, which I think shows more about Joel. That he's kind of like just merciless. It kind of shows that this is like a no bullshit guy. Yeah. So like it still stays with his character. Like if he would have let him live, then I would have questioned that a bit more. But the fact he just killed him straight off the bat.
Yeah, it wouldn't have made sense.
Yeah, would have made sense.
Plus, Joel's done this kind of thing loads of times, isn't it? That's what the series has been hinting at. Joel's actually been killing innocent people or people just to get by. So this is how Joel operates.
Yeah. So then after that, then we find that they kind of like hide in houses, and also we meet sort of like the main villain for the next 2 episodes. Catherine, I think her name is? Kathleen, yeah. I mean, from the bat, she's an awful villain. She is generally awful. She has got no charisma. Like, her motivations are kind of weak. I mean, the whole, you know, like...
She's not Negan levels, no.
She's nowhere near Negan levels.
She's just like... She's the leader of like some kind of weird resistance group.
Yeah, it's not Firefly, but it's just resistant.
You're not really told what they're like resisting against, or why. You just know that they're in Kansas City. Maybe leaving that blank or whatever and not told is good for the story, because they're not really a necessary part of the story.
Yeah,
you don't need to discuss everyone's motivations.
Yeah, but even if you are just a villain for 2 episodes, you know, you gotta like lay your mark down. You know, you gotta.
I think she did in a way. I think she was there to just be the villain of the week. It was weak. I'll give you that.
It was weak.
But then the scene where she's interrogating the old guy about where this Henry guy is. So there's this Henry character that keeps getting mentioned a lot as well by the people in the city who are connected to the group that tried to attack Joel. So that's why Joel and Ellie are hiding, because they've killed some of their people. So they spend the rest of the episode like hiding around the city and stuff, which was okay. You get little bonding moments of Joel and Ellie as well when the cars are up, which was good.
Yeah, just there wasn't enough bonding for me, but it's there, it's there. But then eventually they end up going to like this like massive tower so they can figure out how to get out of Kansas City in like the morning. And then that's when... Oh, yeah, and also there's that really cool thing where he smashes all the glass and then lays down a thing. Like lays it all down where they're sleeping so he could hear if anyone comes in.
Yeah.
Again, just those little, like, survival techniques which he does, like, I generally love, because then it just shows, you know.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the little moments, like, here and there that I like
in general, there's not a lot to say about the episode, because it's more of a setup to the next week's.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
it felt more like a part 1 to what was going to come in part 2, which is where like the good stuff comes in. I thought.
Oh, okay.
I thought episode 4 was like, it did some bits well. It it builds more on Joel and Eddie's relationship and the more playful side, because they're telling jokes with each other. I don't know. I just thought it was a nice episode. It kind of meandered along. You didn't really have to think too much about it.
It was better than episode 3, but I still think it's. I wouldn't say a weak episode. I'll just say it's a nothing episode. Like, I don't think enough happened, but some stuff did that you kind of have to watch it to get
It's
it.
a good episode. You needed to. You need to set up.
It's there.
Yeah,
it's there.
It's about a 6 or a 5 out of 10.
6, 5.
Yeah, you can't really rate any higher.
Yeah, I'll give it a 6.
Because you're not meant to take much away from it, I guess.
I think the main thing you got to take from it is Ellie kind of helping Joel kill the guy.
Yeah.
I think that was like the main thing about that. And then obviously introducing this Kansas City subplot.
Yeah, like the last like 2 minutes of the episode is them waking back up, and then they've got guns pointed in their face by 2 people.
By 2 people who we will discuss in episode 5. So, episode 5. Now this is the episode where it's the main episode everyone's talking about. Like the big one. The big one.
It was very similar to 3 in how you can characterise the episode as like a relationship established, which is I think it's where the show's kind of showing its best traits, man. It's when characters come together, like from different survivalist backgrounds and whatnot, and they have to mesh. So the 2 people in the end of episode 4 were these guys called Henry and Sam, a pair of brothers, and Sam's like probably about 10 or 11. He's like deaf, and he's got like they have to talk with using sign language, and Henry's like his carer, who comes across as sort of like a macho kind of alpha, but then reveals himself to be like
soy boy beta cuck.
Yeah, possibly, man. But like, he was an informant for Fedra, and he ended up turning on the guy that he ended up looking up to the most, which was
turns out to be Kathleen's
brother, which is why she wants him dead, because he sold out her brother to Fedra, who was like a leader of this gang, and Fedra took him in and killed him.
Yeah,
I can't remember why. Is that because he was a leader of the
leader of this resistance group.
But he needed he needed drugs
to help the brother.
Yeah, to help his brother. So he's got good motivations. He wants to save his brother. The only way he can get the necessary medicine is to
I mean,
go to Fedra and get medicine from there.
You understand his motives for it.
It's not clear cut, man. It's very kind of in the grey.
I mean, the thing is, anyone would do that in any situation.
I feel like you can root to him for an extent, but he has sold out.
Yeah, but the thing is, you got to think of your family first.
Mm.
I think, if I'm watching it as a neutral, I think that his motivations are very clear cut.
Yeah,
I don't think he's a bad guy, straight off the bat watching it. His actions, in my opinion, were not massively flawed. You can generally understand why he's done it all.
Yeah, you can justify it.
I think it would have been better if his justifications was a bit more flawed. I just like my characters like a bit more flawed.
I thought he was quite a flawed guy because he even says right when he's
says he's
talking
not
to Joel,
like a fighter and everything.
Yeah, he's never fired a gun. Which I think it's like a fair point. He's never killed anyone. He's just
true.
lived within a group and then he's had to kind of go out on his own.
Lived being a snitch.
Yeah,
that's basically it. He has
that
lived
is,
being
he
a
does
snitch.
hint at that to an extent, yeah. But
I mean, like he's like, yeah. I guess like you kind of the way he's got by is by, like being a snitch.
But you do root for it. That's the thing. I found myself really.
I kind of felt
wanting
nothing
him to
for
succeed.
him.
I disagree, man.
I kind of felt nothing for him.
But the main crux of the episode is him and the Tam join up with Joel and Ellie, and then them four going into this like underground passage, which is supposedly clear of any like zombies, and then getting out of Kansas because they're all dead meat if they stay in the city. So
but apparently everyone thinks that there are the infected down in the sewers, but in reality, they're not.
Yeah. So that's like
it kind of reveals later that there is like infected down there, but you just don't see them.
Yeah, so there's like an A story and a B story. A story being how they get out of Kansas City together, and then B story is like how the two groups kind of mesh together. And you've got Eddie and Sam who are both young, like having fun reading comic books because they end up finding this like weird kind of children's play area and whatnot.
Oh yeah,
those two bond, and then Henry and Joel bond because not bond, but like
because they're both kind of father figures.
Yeah, they're like protectors of their group,
yeah,
innit? Of their
protectors. People. Like Joel protects Ellie. Henry protects Sam.
They're mutually understanding where they're coming from, and they need to work together.
Yeah,
it was good.
I mean, I felt like Ellie got more out of this relationship between the two.
Yeah, I think she
than
was
Joel
Sam,
got with than Joel got with Henry. Obviously, because of reasons much later when we're going to discuss, mostly the end of the episode. But I just want to get more into. Well, let's talk about the actual like zombie bit.
Yeah.
Let's just actually talk about that.
Do like the first half of the episode's like I think you got goes into Henry's backstory for a little bit. Just give that a brief mention because like it's about how Henry ends up setting out the guy and it's him with Sam and how they're learning sign language and whatnot and then how they end up finding Joe and Eddie. So that's like 20 minutes into it, you know.
Yeah,
it's
that's
a good crux of the episode. And then the rest of it is just like the good part, man. Like when they get to the zombies in the last half hour, they clear this underground bit. And then like, what's it? They're getting shot out by that sniper.
Oh, the sniper,
guy.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a big part, man.
And then Joel then like loops around, and then he's like, just put the gun down and slide it over to me. He was like, no funny thing, and he just shoots him dead.
Yeah, because the guy tries to
and
shoot Joel.
I like that.
It was brutal.
And
again, they do it off camera. A lot of Joel's like executions have been off camera.
Never. Oh, okay.
Which I think is something. I don't know if you noticed it.
I think. I don't know, like, I'm okay with it and not okay with it. I feel like sometimes you need to show the more brutal side.
Yeah. But this bit's necessary.
I think it's purely just to keep that 15 rated.
Yeah,
I think it's just because, like, don't make it too violent because then people are going to steer away from it.
And it's not been overly gory or...
It hasn't been overly gory.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Walking Dead.
Yeah.
After that Glenn episode... where Glenn gets like his brain smashed in a baseball bat because at that moment Walking Dead was the most watched thing.
Yeah.
It was the most watched thing.
What was his rating? Did his rating change at all after that?
Massively.
Really?
And they got so many complaints and everything like that. And then you can notice that sort of like halfway through season 7, because they already shot like half through season 7, when they got the complaints, like seasons 8, 10, 11, the gore and the violence tones down massively. Oh, really? Massively tones down, and then that's why kind of Walking Dead fell off like a lot. So I think that, you know, HBO, the big companies, they want to make it violent and they want to make it scary, but they never want to make it too violent or too much of that.
Yeah, because you lose a lot of your views.
You lose. So I think that's the reason why a lot of the execution stuff is not shown.
Yeah, which makes sense.
I mean, I get it.
But the mentioning the sniper bit's crucial because it's where Joel's positioned when the zombie outbreak happens. So Joel's in this like tower with a sniper rifle now and with ammunition, and then Henry, Sam, and Eddie are like in the street, like hiding behind the car, like from the sniper.
Yeah.
So Joel kills the guy, and then
they start coming towards, and then Fedra comes with like the big truck.
Oh, it's the resistance group. It's Kathleen's resistance group. Will come up with trucks, and like they're all armed with like guns. And you got 3 people that have like no ammunition or guns, and then Joel's like far away.
Yeah. And
he's trying to get him to run to him so they can escape, but they end up seeing.
Oh yeah, doesn't he like shoot the driver?
Yeah, he does.
Shoots the driver, and then the car steers into the house where like it's slowly going into like the underground, which is where the zombies rise. But then you have that like they actually like surround Henry, Sam, and Ellie. And then Catherine does this weird speech, which really isn't threatening.
Make any sense, yeah.
It's not threatening at all, you know. I just hate her as a character, man. There's no charisma in her at all. I don't know if it's bad writing or if it's bad acting.
Yeah, she didn't really do it for anyone.
It was just weak, man.
But then you get the car sinks into the house, and then all these like zombies finally come up, and you're like, finally zombies, and the one thing we really missed.
Episode 2, fam.
And like one of the best parts is like the blower that comes in.
Yeah.
And just like rips like heads off people, man. Do you remember the scene where what's the guy like the head like sniper guy with Kathleen?
Oh yeah.
He goes to a run, like get away from safety, and there's like hundreds of zombies coming out of the ground, and it's like they're all killing all these guys with the guns and whatnot, and it's like it seems like Joe, Eddie, and Sam can all like run off like to safety and whatnot while these zombies are distracting this group. And this bloke just comes in, picks up the guy with the gun, and just cracks his head off. I was like, oh, that's brutal.
Did you actually know that that's the voice of Tommy from the games?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they actually brought him in as this like small character.
Cool.
Yeah, like it's just like a nice Easter egg, I thought. But yeah, do you think that scene was like?
Oh, I loved it.
Do you think?
Come on, that's why we're watching the show, man. To have like gross zombie moments.
Do you think it's as good because we've been starved of the zombies for like 3 episodes?
Possibly, but then there is
that makes it that much better.
But there is the idea of like starving people of the action will make those moments hit more when they do happen. I think it was really effective. You've got a blower. The first real thing you've got with zombies for like a couple of episodes is like this massive invasion, and then this huge tanky thing coming out. And then you've got the clicker when Eddie ends up running into that car. She has to like jump into a car. She's like doing
some like weird flips and like bending like her legs like every fucking.
And there's this like clicker, this like a little girl thing. And it's I don't know what they are in the games. Like what's specific about clicker?
Clickers are the ones where they do everything by sound because the fungi's like taking over their eyes and face and everything. So they've got like echo sound. Okay. So they hear.
Yeah. So it's Eddie alone trapped in the car with this clicker, and she has to like get out. I can't remember how she gets out again.
She just can't get out of the car.
That's good. Yeah.
And then she goes to save Henry and Sam. Yeah. Who are underneath the car, getting like grabbed by all like the zombies.
And those 3 manage to escape, but then they're followed by Kathleen.
Up there sniping.
Yeah.
He's
I love the scene where it's like you've got zombies either side, just like surrounding, killing people, and you've got like the scene keeps cutting between where Joel is and where Ellie is, and then Joel's just like. Bang, and there's like reload.
He's got some mad aiming though. His aiming is insane.
I thought that scene was sick. It's like every time Eddie moves and the zombie's about to jump into her, it gets shot by Jar. That was sick.
Don't get me wrong. This is like the main talking point of the show. Just this like 10 minutes where like the zombies do come out.
I mean, I loved it, man. I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool set piece.
And Kathleen gets killed by the clicker as well when she's confronting Henry.
Thank God.
She does like a stupid like scene where like she looks like she's about to kill Henry, and then the clicker comes in.
She talks too much. Why don't you just shoot?
I don't know.
It's like freaking Austin Powers, isn't it? Just kill him. Just kill him there.
But yeah, Kathleen's dead, and she didn't really do anything for anyone, man. She didn't have much of a personality.
She had nothing, man. She had nothing going for her as a character.
Well, basically, they all escape anyway, and then like the big talking point is. Once like Henry, Sam, Joe, and Eddie are all together, he's like, "Oh, do you want to come to Kansas, to Wyoming with us?"
Like far west. Yeah. You know, they kind of like just agree just to sort of like stick together. I guess strength in numbers. Also, they can help each other out here and there. But then it's at night and they're staying in this hotel. I'm guessing not too far away because all the zombies go and run off into Kansas City, don't they?
Yeah.
So Kansas City is more or less screwed. Which I'm okay with, like fuck Kansas. Yeah.
that kind of episode arc didn't really add a lot to it, but the best part is like anything like with the relationships, man. That's what the show's doing well, and it's like Eddie and Sam, like in their room, and like you got Joe and Henry talking about how they're gonna move on and whatnot. Eddie and Sam are like bonding using the
notepad to like talk and
everything. The scribble thing to talk and to bond and whatnot. And he's like, "Do you ever feel scared?" And she's like. No, but then she ends up like becoming vulnerable with him for a little bit, and it was kind of cute. Yeah,
and then like he goes like, "Are you scared of turning into like the monster and stuff?" Yeah, and then you find out that he's bit. Now this is where you actually see Ellie's more compassionate side, where she cuts herself because she said that her blood is the medicine, and then she tries to like heal him and everything with like the blood. Yeah, like this is where you actually see like Ellie like go, "I want to help people," which then makes her a lot more likable, which then means that she got something out of this relationship with Sam.
Yeah, that builds up. That builds up there as well.
I could see that, she wants to help Sam. She's more
becoming
compassionate.
more like rootable for a viewer as well.
Yeah,
I definitely think over these 3 episodes, she's gone from just like that annoying kind of sidekick kid to someone who's got moments where you're like, oh, okay, she's resonating as a human to me, man. So
yeah, like she definitely is getting better as the season goes on. Because remember when we said the first video, we said how weak her character was.
But they've definitely patched up things, man.
Yeah,
and written patched up, which is good. And her relationship with Joel's getting a lot better, but that's more episode 6.
Yeah, that's more episode 6.
But like, episode 5, like the main bit is Sam. I felt so bad, man, when they go to sleep and then the light comes on and Sam's sitting at the end of his bed just like that, and it's like backed away from the camera, and you can tell something's kind of off.
Yeah, like you kind of hope that he's healed, but then like. He comes out, and the door flies open, and then he's like trying to bite Ellie.
Yeah.
And then Henry like grabs the gun first, which you can see sort of Joel's slow reactions.
Yeah, it's weird.
Because of his old age.
Because Henry knows what he's got to do, but for that few seconds, he's like,
hesitation.
I can't do it, and then he just shoots Sam in the head.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that was, and he's just like, what have I done, man? This is the person I'm protecting, and I've had to like kill them, and it's just. You can just see the amount of emotion he was going through. I
guess you could see I think like the main thing you can take from their characters and their story is that one cannot live without the other.
Yeah.
So as soon as Sam died, Henry didn't have any
Henry's
reason or
spirit
purpose.
broke, man.
Yeah. He didn't have any reason or purpose to live anymore. So that's why. And then maybe that's sort of hinting at like Joel's and Ellie's relationship coming further down the line. Yeah. So maybe you can take something away from their relationships with Joel and Ellie.
Yeah. So Henry shoots himself anyway.
Yeah, Henry shoots himself.
He's just like, lips quivering, just like, what can I do, man? And everyone's like, give me the gun. And then the screen just cuts to black, and you just hear a bang, and it's just. And the next scene immediately goes straight to Joel and Ellie digging the grave. Yeah, I thought it was a very effective transition, man.
And then she leaves that note which they've been writing on, saying, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I love that. I thought it was...
Okay, so ratings for that episode.
Anything that's like character-based, relationship-based, that's done really well is going to score highly with me. And I felt a lot of like sympathy with the two groups. And I really liked Henry and Sam as people. They're just two guys. They're just good
people.
Two good-hearted people trying to help each other and whatnot. And
there's nothing really to hate about them.
Just the shocking end of it as well. It's a 9.5.
Wow.
Yeah.
That high?
I came away thinking, wow, I would watch something really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, it will be a solid 8.
Really?
I think an 8. I don't think it's as high as the first 2 episodes, but I think maybe because it was sandwiched in between 2 other episodes that I really wasn't keen about. So maybe that kind of hype lowered my expectations down a bit. But I still think it's a really good episode.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'd rate it slightly higher.
I don't think it's amazing episode. I don't think it hits the heights of the first 2, but I think it hits a very good height.
Yeah.
Where it massively surpasses 3 and 4, but just a bit below 1 and 2, which I think is a fair assessment. Episode 6 of The Last of Us. Now this is I think this is a much more calmer episode compared to 5. 5 is a bit of a roller coaster. Yeah. 6 is one where we finally meet Tommy since episode 1. We haven't seen him since then. And even in episode 1, it was very brief. But we finally get to see him. And then we get introduced to this new settlement, which is kind of a top secret one, where not a lot of people know about it because they want to stay hidden. And we find out that Tommy has kind of a partner now, and then she's pregnant. And we just get a lot more deeper emotional connection between Joe and Ellie's characters. This is the episode where we finally see the bonding between Joe and Ellie to a much more deeper extent than we've been seeing it. But yeah, what do you think of it?
I think that's a good brief overlay, to be fair. If you want to go into some other points, you've got Tommy's partner's mistrust of Joel.
Yeah,
she's the reason that Tommy's not talked to Joel.
Yeah, that's true.
She doesn't like how he was killing people, and that what he could bring to this settlement and distrust.
Yeah, that's true.
This settlement's a pretty clean settlement,
Oh, it's the cleanest one you've seen.
Yeah, it's well up in the mountains. It's the closest to real life, and it's well protected and whatnot. She doesn't like Joel's approach to killing and being okay with it,
Yeah, it's it's that sort of thing where Joel is like represented as kind of like the bad person in the settlement, really. And even though they said that they kill people and then leave them like across the river, don't they?
Yeah. Joel doesn't seem to be okay with the fact that Tommy's married.
Yeah.
And that Tommy's tried to move on from what they did to survive.
Yeah.
And Tommy doesn't like that there's a bit of friction between Joel's approach and then Maria, which is Tommy's wife. So that kind of leads into... and also the fact that they tried to shoot Joel on sight.
Oh yeah, they did. I mean, they were just being cautious because also they got the dog to make sure they weren't infected and everything. But yeah, it's an interesting episode because this one just takes like a massive step back and then just purely focuses on relationships of people, like Joel's relationship with Tommy and his brother, well, Tommy's brother, sorry, and like Ellie's relationship with him, and it's just like, as far as like slower episodes are concerned, like this is the best one.
I think it's really good. I really like how the tone changes.
Yeah,
a
the
couple
tone
of times
massively changes.
because in the beginning it's kind of more slightly comedic where they break into that couple's home because they're
Yeah.
trying to figure out where they are on the map, and just
like-
the wife's just quite funny, man. Did you make him soup?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you lying? No. Are you lying to me? No.
And that's the
just
dude
fun.
from Dance with Wolves.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a great movie, which I highly recommend.
Yeah, it's just fun.
Yeah, and
That first 20 minutes in this, like Joel and Ellie in the wilderness, in the cold, making it through the river, just them two kind of bonding and...
yeah, and also you see that Ellie has learnt some stuff from Joel because she was on watch.
Yeah.
And then she even says, like, I went up to the high point, I saw, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Which means you can see that Joel's, like, survival instincts is rubbing off on Ellie, like, a bit more and more, which you can see. And yeah, and it was just, I think it all round, like, the main, like, point of this episode is the bonding between Ellie and Joel. Like, this is the one which you've been starved from, like, the first 5 episodes, you finally actually get to see that bonding.
Yeah.
Or with them actually properly coming together. And you even see like a bit more of Joel being a bit more open, like thinking that he can't do it and all that sort of stuff.
And
like,
he can't look after Ellie.
Yeah.
So once they're in this settlement, he's like... Because they've got to go up to the university to... to drop off Ellie and whatnot, isn't it? And get her tested. But Joel's like, I can't do this anymore because I'm too old. He's been like freezing. He's been second guessing himself. If he leaves Ellie with Tommy, at least she's got a place to like grow up and lead like a normal life. But
I know
Ellie's too close to Joel, and that's the problem that Joel has in the episode. He's struggling with himself. And
with the panic attacks and everything.
Yeah.
And also like,
is he able to be the guardian that Ellie?
Yeah, because he's starting to realise that he is slow, that he is old. And he even says like to Tommy, like, you're younger, you're faster, you know
He
the
really
layout
opens up
a bit
to
more.
Tommy, man. It's the first time they've seen each other in ages, and they both like hug like for so long as it's been 20, like well, not 20 years, but like 10 years since they've seen each other.
It's been a while, and also the fact is that I don't know, you just see Joel more open, like a lot more open. It's like you actually get to see like a different side to Joel.
It shows off Pedro Pascal's acting range, I think. This is the one where he's really able to show more sides of him rather than just the kind of cold survivalist.
Yeah, and also like you see he's having panic attacks, so you can see everything he's done until now is affecting him. Like he isn't this like massively. I mean, he's like massively cold-hearted survivor, but you just see like a bit more layers to him.
And even when
like,
they get
a bit
into the
more
settlement,
to him.
he's like struggling to kind of reacclimatise with just living like a normal life. Things like having meals or like a movie night. It's this settlement's reminiscent to what's the one in Walking Dead?
Alexandria?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
man.
when like Rick first comes and everything.
Yeah, well, there's like some normality in like.
But you can also see that Ellie doesn't adjust either.
Mm.
So you can see that they're kind of. It shows that they're kind of like perfectly paired with each other.
They're both outsiders looking into the community that they're not sure they can.
They can actually like be with.
And it's done well.
Yeah, and also we get to see that the reason why Joel doesn't want to be with Ellie anymore, which I mean you can understand the reasonings, because also Sarah's brought up in this episode as well, and then like she goes like I'm not her, you know, like
and he's just like don't you?
Yeah, don't you? You know, I thought that was like a really good scene. Apparently it's kind of like same lines as the game.
Yeah.
Like pretty much that conversation there is pretty much the same as like the game.
Then you've got the last part of the episode, which is just like the action part of it. That's the action time. So
Get to see the
them going up. What's that?
The monkeys.
Yeah, it's them going on a horseback up to the university. to I can't remember what the actual reason is.
Because that's where the scientists or doctors were there for.
Oh yeah.
But then when they get there, it turns out that everything's like moved, so it looks like they've like moved location.
Yeah, that's it.
And
Better
then
facilities and whatnot.
and then the looters come or raiders come, and then Joel just absolutely destroy. Like he gets him like a headlock, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And just like slowly chokes him out. Which again, like I just like it. Like you can see that he's old, and also the fact is that he gets like stabbed in like the stomach.
But Joel, he's quick. As he's gotten older, he's had to rely more on his quick wits.
Yeah.
And things like that. So
Yeah, I think this episode is, like I said, it's a slow one, it's a slow burner, but I think it's actually probably my favourite one out of the three.
yeah, because it shows that once Joel's stabbed, he's never going to be able to be the lead in that partnership now. Now he's more switching to Ellie's going to have to be the one
Yeah,
that has to
Ellie's
use
gonna
her
be-
resources and grow up quick, man.
Which is going to be like an interesting change in dynamic now, because we've always just seen Joel as like the main protector. Now it's Ellie's turn. Like, what has she learned from Joel?
Yeah.
How is she gonna, is she gonna do like the same sort of tricks as Joel, or is she gonna come up with new ways? And like,
Yeah.
I think like the next 3 episodes is really going to be interesting now.
It's a strong episode that's going to set up the next 3, yeah. So
Yeah, definitely.
overall, I'd give it an 8.
Yeah, no, that's
I don't
strong.
think you
That's
can
strong.
give it any higher because it's not got the
Hasn't got
water
the
cooler moments.
yeah, like it doesn't have the epic moments like episode
Yeah.
5 did with the zombies and everything.
It's just strong writing, man. I really liked it.
I would honestly give it like a 9 out of 10.
I think 9's good. There's
Yeah.
a fair score. 8 or 9 between
Yeah.
that range, man.
I think it isn't like the mad action which we hoped for, but I think it just gives something a bit more, something that's been lacking in like the last five episodes for me.
But I think this was a very good 3-episode cycle.
You know
Episode
what?
4 was called a mediocre, 5 hit the heights, and 6.
Yeah, I'm glad that Kansas subplot kind of finished and done with in 2 episodes. I felt that was a very weak subplot.
But in terms of how they're moving forward in the games versus the show, I think they're doing it really well.
I
They're
think
moving forward at a reasonable pace compared to the playtime in the games.
Yeah, I think they're doing a good job. I don't think it's hitting the mad heights it deserves to be, but I think they're doing a good job.
I think in terms of writing, I think they're writing it really well. The casting's solid. The characters have actually got better with every episode, which is what
Yeah,
you
that's
want.
true, especially with Ellie.
You're rooting for them more.
Ellie's character has got a lot better in these in 4, 5, and 6. She's got a lot better than she was in 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and
a lot better.
Joel's got better as well. I
Yeah,
think,
exactly.
Which is
Yeah,
important.
but yeah. So give us a thought of what you guys think of episodes 4, 5, and 6. Just comment section, tell us about it, and we'll be back for episodes 7, 8, and 9. I think there's 9 episodes, isn't there?
10 overall.
There's 10.
But we'll do 10 as a separate one.
Yeah, we'll do 10 as separate, and then talk about all of the season with that like one thing, and give us our thoughts on it. So anyway, I'm Sedge,
I'm Tristan.
and don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the conversation. Peace out.